we ready?
You're listening to Hollywood on Motorcycle Madhouse on iTunes and all major podcasting platforms.
And how you doing? Welcome to Motorcycle Madhouse Biker News. You know who I am. Welcome to everybody over on YouTube, Motorcycle Madhouse. .com. If you guys haven't gone to motorcyclemadhouse.com, you will hear different news over there than you do over here on YouTube. Got a lot more stuff over there, so make sure you get over to motorcyclemadhouse.com and plug us into the car, man. We are on the radio kicking butt over there. This episode, we have a lot on what's going on in Virginia on Monday. The big Second Amendment rally is going to be happening there, and we're going to give you a little behind the scenes of what they're saying. Also, we have news from Australia, the Bandidos we're going to be covering, as well as what's going on in Texas, man. You're leading the country in motorcycle deaths, so we'll dive a little bit into that. And after the show, we'll give you a clip or two of what some of the people are saying at some of these meetings concerning the Second Amendment. But let's get into the news and have some fun on today's show. Okay, we got the New York Times. Virginia Capitol is on edge as FBI arrests suspected neo-Nazis before the gun rally. What a surprise, isn't it, guys? Neo-Nazis before the gun rally. 3 men had obtained guns and discussed traveling to Virginia for protests against new gun control measures, officials said. Hey, does anybody... Here's a question for you guys. Arlington Cemetery, what general from the CSA did that belong to before it became a cemetery, and why? By Timothy Williams, Adam Goldman, and Neil McFarlane. You can't even pronounce that name. You must have got really freaking teased in high school. Anyway, Richmond, Virginia, alarming calls online for a race war. The arrest of 3 suspected neo-Nazis, memories of the explosive clashes in Charlottesville, Virginia 3 years ago. A sense of crisis enveloped the capital of Virginia on Thursday, with the police on heightened alert and Richmond bracing for possible violence ahead of a gun rally next week that is expected to draw white supremacists and other anti-government extremists. Wow. Anything that has to do with the Second Amendment, everybody's an extremist. You gotta love it. And I have an article coming up on HarleyLiberty.com that talks about why the Virginia rally is so important to motorcycle clubs and biker rights. Real in-depth article. Make sure you check it out. I think it's going to drop Sunday. Members of numerous armed militias and white power proponents vowed to coverage or convene on the city despite the state of emergency declared by Governor Ralph Northam. You got to remember, this wouldn't be happening, Gov, if you didn't pass these stupid laws, okay? Or you're gonna. I've heard that they're doing some background deals right now, dropping some, adding others. Yeah, they want you to register your weapon with the government so they know who has them. Kind of defeats the purpose of the Second Amendment, don't you think? Anyway, he temporarily banned weapons from the grounds of the state capitol. The potential for an armed confrontation prompted fears of a rerun of the 2017 far-right rally that left 1 person dead and some 24 injured in Charlottesville, about an hour's drive from Monday's rally. The unease increased after the FBI announced the arrest on Thursday of 3 armed men suspected of being members of a neo-Nazi hate group, including a former Canadian Army reservist who had obtained weapons and discussed participating in the rally. The men were linked to the Base, a group that aims to create a white ethno-state, according to the FBI. For weeks, discussions about the rally have lit up Facebook page and chat rooms frequented by militia members and white supremacists. So that's what the rally's about, in liberals' mind, where, when they're going around abortion and all these other abortion right rallies, those ain't, there's no extremists in them. It's just when it has to do with the Second Amendment. It is sickening how the media is with their propaganda, and it's sickening, actually, how people listen to that propaganda. In the lexicon of white supremacists, that is an event that will accelerate the race war they have anticipated for decades. Quote, "They are fanning the flames for this event," said Megan Squire, a professor at Elon University in North Carolina who tracks extremist chatter online. Quote, "They want chaos." The rally on Monday, the holiday marking the birthday of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., was initially organized to protest the Virginia legislators' proposed restrictions on gun purchases. The organizer, the Virginia Citizens Defense League, is prominent in the state's Second Amendment rights movement, donating tens of thousands of dollars to lawmakers over the years. Its president, Philip Von Cleve, refers himself as an extremist, but issued a statement saying the rally was meant to be a peaceful protest about gun rights. Yeah, it's going down. Any of our listeners that are going to this rally, please take some videos and some pictures, and we'll get them up for you. And maybe get you on Motorcycle Madhouse for an interview. We'd love to hear from you who's there. Anyway, moving on, and there you can see HarleyLiberty.com. And yes, we're on Instagram TV now. I have almost daily fireside chats, I call it, over on Instagram. 5-minute videos where I answer everybody's questions the best that I can, give my opinion on some of the subjects. So go over to Instagram. It's at Insane Throttle Biker News. Then you got HarleyLiberty.com, where you have every day something about what's going on in the biker community. The man shot dead on a rural property has been formally identified as Bandidos OMCG Central West Chapter President. This coming out of the Wellington Times. The man shot dead on a rural property between Malong and Wellington has been formally identified as Bandidos OMCG Central West Chapter President Shane D. Britt. Detectives are asking for information from the community as they continue to investigate the shooting of a senior member of the outlaw motorcycle gang earlier this week. About 10:50 a.m. on Tuesday, January 14th, police and emergency services responded to reports a man had been shot at the property on Cantaball Road, about 50 kilometers south of Wellington. Kilometers, meters, oh my God, that's all foreign to Americans. Let me tell you, every time I try to watch something on the History Channel or something history related on YouTube, they start talking meters, kilometers, and here I am with a conversion calculator. Anyway, officers attached to Arana Midwestern Police District attended and located the body of the 60-year-old man inside the home. He suffered a gunshot wound to the head. A crime scene was established at the property and examined by specialist forensic officers. The State Crime Command's Homicide Squad assisted. There is inquiries, and if you're over there, they ask you to call Crime Stoppers at 800-333-000. It looks like there's something missing there, but that's just up to me. Maybe it's different in Australia. But don't forget to visit us on HarleyLiberty.com. As you can see here, we got all kinds of stuff. And Biker Lifestyle Magazine. Next to New Hampshire. NH organizers of bike ride honoring crash victims thanked state. This has to do with the New Hampshire 7 with the Jarheads MC. And right now, the murderer is going through court proceedings. Concord, New Hampshire, a group that organized a big memorial bike ride in New Hampshire following the deaths of 7 motorcyclists in a collision with a pickup truck, is presenting the state agencies that helped out with a custom-made wooden U.S. flag. The flag is etched with the victim's name from the June crash in Randolph. A presentation by the Ride for the Fallen 7 Foundation is scheduled for 9 a.m. January 23rd at the State Incident Planning and Operations Center, where the flag will be displayed. The building houses agencies from the Safety and Transportation Department. An estimated 3,000 motorcyclists with 4,500 riders from around the country took part in the Ride for the Fallen 7 in July. They rode 90 miles from Laconia to the crash site in Randolph, where a memorial service was held. Those killed were members of the Jarheads Motorcycle Club. The pickup driver, we won't mention his name, of West Springfield, Massachusetts, has pleaded not guilty to negligent homicide charges. This is the one I was talking about. What's going on in Texas, man? You lead the country in motorcycle deaths. And this article goes on to say, how can you help keep our bikers safe, by Shelby Copridge. Corpus Christi, Texas. Every time you get in your car, you're stepping into potential danger. The risks are even greater for individuals who drive a motorcycle. Loud pipes save lives is what I say. I'm partially going deaf in my right ear for it, but I'd never freaking get rid of my pipes. I got the Vance and Hines on the Suzuki Boulevard. I got straight up drags on the Fat Boy. We're changing that over to West Coast style, fishtails, all that good stuff. We're going to get that sucker loud. Anyway, nearly 5,000 motorcyclists died in a motor crash in 2018, with Texas being the leading state for most fatalities. Bikers know their passion comes with risk and sometimes cost. Quote, I got my collarbone broke. I got a big chunk of steel up right here now. When you walk into Rick's motorcycle repair shop, to the left, you'll see a board dedicated to his fallen fellow riders. This Sunday, Rick will be riding with his brothers up to Austin for a funeral of a fellow rider. In 2018, Texas accounted for 8% of the national deaths in motorcycle accidents in the United States, 400 people to be exact. My God, man. And that is your bikers news right there. You guys got to start being safe out there and make sure you guys know what you are. And that concludes Motorcycle Madhouse Biker News for this segment. Don't forget to go over to our YouTube channel, MotorcycleMadhouse.com. Subscribe, follow us, and especially over on IGTV over there on Instagram. Get over there, follow us, help us out, spread the word, the whole 9 yards. With that, I will talk to you guys later.
My name is Tripcaster. As you can see, I'm here. I just want to personally...
Could you pull that mic up a little bit?
Is that better? Okay. I just want to personally and publicly go on record supporting this resolution before us this evening. Guys, it's simple, like a lot of them have said. The Constitution needs no explanation. It's been in force for several hundred years now. It's easy to understand. It says what it means and means what it says. And the last time I read the Declaration of Independence, it specifically reminds all of us that we're endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights, which means God-given. Among these, life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, and that governments were instituted among men specifically to secure our God-given rights. And it says when government becomes destructive to these ends, meaning when they go above and beyond trying to secure our liberties and trying to take them, it's the right of the people to alter or abolish that government, either by voting or ultimately, God forbid, to use our Second Amendment rights to protect ourselves from tyranny. And I'm just asking all of y'all to unanimously join our sister counties of Wilkes, Surrey, Stokes, Lincoln, and Cherokee and get on board with this thing and publicly demonstrate to us that you're willing to uphold and honor the same oath I took when I put my hand on God's word and held my other hand up to him and swore that I'd give my life to defend that Constitution. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but regardless of what y'all do or don't do, I'm not going to enforce an unconstitutional law. I'm going to protect. I'm going to protect the people of this county regardless of what's done here. So I'm just praying. I've been praying about this thing all week, that God would touch y'all's heart and say, hey, let's get on board. Let's do the right thing. Let's let these people know that we're here to support them, and we're not going to allocate any personnel, finances, resources, or facilities to infringe.